Hi, I'm Nelson, and this is the Sir Nelson English School. In this school, we help you to improve your reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills. We also help you to pass the IELTS test. In this particular video, we are going to focus on the indirect speech. We are going to practice the use of the indirect speech, but we are going to use the book which we read in class, and that's Beauty and the Beast. We are going to focus on one chapter in the book Beauty and the Beast. In indirect speech, remember, we need reporting verbs to add information, to report words that are said by people. So we shall need these reporting verbs. Remember, we have direct speech and indirect speech. This is direct speech and this is the indirect speech. The next morning, Beauty's father leaves, changes to left the castle. He is crying. He was crying. Don't cry, father. The reporting verb is advised. Don't cry, father. Beauty advised her father not to cry. Remember, don't changes to not to. When I put 3 dots, I mean you have to put a reporting verb here, a reporting verb here. We also have reporting verbs for thinking. Reporting verbs for thinking, 1 up to 6. Goodbye, dear Beauty. He said goodbye to Beauty. Continue. Remember, you are changing this from direct speech to indirect speech. When you see the 3 dots mean you have to put a reporting verb here. Change this to indirect speech. He exclaimed with happiness. You need this because when someone shows strong emotions, this is how we report them in indirect speech. Direct speech, change this to indirect speech. Remember, we need these 3 dots indicate reporting verbs. Change this to indirect speech. She takes a book. She took a book. The rest of the part, I've changed it already for you, but you can read and learn. Change this to indirect speech. Remember, there is a reporting verb here. Reporting verbs for thinking. Remember, we use this. Reporting verbs for asking oneself a question. If you are asking yourself a question, we can use any of these reporting verbs. For example, he exclaimed with wonder, "What a nice girl." He exclaimed with wonder at the nice girl. He exclaimed with wonder, "What a nice girl." How do we report this in indirect speech? He exclaimed with wonder at the nice girl. Nice girl, we use the preposition at. Change this to indirect speech. Remember, the 3 dots indicate that you have to put a reporting verb. Change the paragraph to indirect speech. Change this paragraph to indirect speech. Make the necessary changes. Reporting verbs for replies. When they ask a question, you reply. So you can use any of these. Change this to indirect speech. Yes, of course. Yes, certainly. In indirect speech, we say he agreed, he or she agreed. Will you speak? Change this to indirect speech. Change this to indirect speech. Do the same here. Do the same here. Change this paragraph to indirect speech.